Hello on the internet. It is Tuesday, Spooky-tober the 14th, and I'm talking like this because I can hear myself.
No.
um,
You're still on the call in the Discord chat. Is that what you want?
I don't know. Probably not. It doesn't matter actually, but I'll leave it.
Gotcha.
All right.
You
are Sea Parks, and you are
Golden Rose Cake.
Oh, and this is the park bench.
Yes.
And this is Ashley. That's her tail. Saw you made an appearance on the show.
Oh,
she's pestering me again.
Pester.
How have you been?
I've been good. I'm healing up from my sports injury. It's not sports.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm healing up from that, so I feel good there. I won in both my fantasy leagues. You know, I'm having a really fun week. I beat Digimon Storytime Stranger, 98%ed it. Only achievement left is New Game Plus stuff, which I don't know if I'll do anytime soon.
Because there's so much new stuff to play.
So many more video games.
Because it's October and a million games. Oh, okay. Okay, Cat. She is just laying across the whole desk now.
The whole desk.
Yeah, she's so because the show's a little different today. On our end, which you probably notice maybe a little quality difference. I have your camera up on my second monitor. And she's just staring at it.
Hi, Ashley.
She looked away when you said hi. She's like, whatever. Yeah, so you played Digimon.
Digimon.
I played my standard rotation. But like the added rotation. So the Fortnite. Actually, I might not have played Peak. But I did play some Smash and the Bazaar.
Heck yeah. Keeping the classics in your heart.
Yeah, it's been a busy last couple days because of this house inspection that we had today. And then also because of the family of 5 we're hosting in a couple days. Just preparing for that. Yeah. What are we going to talk about today, Kay?
Well, I know what I'm talking about.
You're going to talk a whole lot about Gnosia?
Yeah, Gnosia. They don't ever say this game's not voiced. Actually, you know what? The first episode of the anime, they do pronounce it, and I missed it completely. But Gnosia. I've always pronounced it Gnosia. I don't know why. It's a video game, and now there's an anime adaptation that came out last weekend. So I'm gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And then you got
next gen rumors and leaks have started coming out. Apparently starting in 2027.
Xbox Next.
Then more leaks, big leaks
Big leaks.
A leak in the Pokemon wall.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
it's just like that ship is, just catching water. I don't know what this metaphor is anymore.
and then what else we got? Rock Band 4
Mm-hmm.
is 10 years old. Happy 10-year anniversary. And then they're delisting everything. God damn.
I love the word delisting. What'd you
Delisting.
say first? Delisting.
I don't know. But I can hear myself, and like, I'm sorry you all have to hear me.
No, you're good.
Last thing, Steam Nextfest.
Yeah.
Started yesterday.
I played some demos and talked about those demos.
Uh I started a list. I don't know if you caught it in our document. Started a list of demos before Steam Next Fest had started, just hoping that like this stuff would be in it. And I think all but one have a demo, so I deleted that out. So yeah, we'll talk about that.
Woo!
Kicking off. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Kicking off. Gnosia.
Gnosia.
Tell me about Gnosia.
Gnosia is a game that came out, I believe, in 2019 for like the Vita, and then it got a adaptation to other consoles, PC, at the very least PC in 2020. And I've had my eye on it for so long, and I just never pulled the trigger. And then I've talked about it with people like in the past and be like, oh man, like this is a game that exists. I want to play it. And then I heard the anime just came out with this first episode last weekend. And I'm like, you know what? I checked Steam, it's on sale. They're like bangerang. And I went, hell yeah, I'm gonna buy this game. So I buy the game. It was like $13.50, something give or take. And my Gnosia pitch to you, it's a social deduction werewolf town of Salem, that type of style of video. I mean,
Mafia.
yeah, but it's single player. So if you don't have any friends, this is how you play, and it's a roguelike. And it's really, really fucking good once you start to see how the systems are working. Basic pitch: you wake up, standard amnesia, on this spaceship where everyone else doesn't have amnesia, and it opens up with just a quick game. There's like 5 people, and they're like, "Hey, one of us is a Gnosia, which is a being that is anti-human. They take over our skin, kind of thing going on, and they'll just like evaporate you at night."
Oh.
The is that like when you're in warp, humans' bodies can't withstand warp, so you're like locked in, but Gnosias can. So they just kill one person when they're in warp drive. Basic gameplay. You have a meeting, you have conversations with your fellow crewmates, and you go like, they're like not the at first. There's a lot of the same things being said. Like there's a lot of like I think if I'm going to get off right in front of it. My one detractment is there's not a lot of variance in what's actually being said when someone accuses someone or like distrust or covering for them, but there's a lot of variance in how people react to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But basically, you just like Among Us, just like all these games, you walk up, you hit the daytime, someone accuses somebody, and they're like, "Hey, I don't trust this person," and then you can choose to butt in, you can choose to not butt in, and for a defense or for agreeing, and that might put more spotlight on you. There's a lot of things happening under the hood of this video game but basically at the end of the day part, everybody votes and you put that person in cold sleep, which is they're in the little ice chamber. And then at night you have a chance to talk to one person. And so In bigger games, only 8 people will show up to talk to you. You can talk to one of those 8, but until it's later on, you don't have that many people to talk to. And talking to people does some under the hood stuff, like maybe they like you more because you went to talk to them. Maybe there's an event that happens. But just like standard Werewolf Mafia, night hits, they kill a person. Day 2, that's the main like baseline gimmick until we start getting into all the roles. And you have some of your standard roles here. You have your engineer. They're the seer. I don't know what it is outside of werewolf. It's the one where at the end of the night you can look at one person and go, are you Gnosia or not? You have the doctor who can look at someone that you put in cold sleep the night before, and they can verify whether or not they're Gnosia or not. You have Guardian Angel, which is like the bodyguard, which you protect somebody from being murdered by the Gnosia. You have the the AC cult. Basically, they're a cultist that wants the Gnosia to win, despite not being a Gnosia. You have the bug, which is the most unique role, which is you just want to survive without being eliminated. And if you do, you win. You end the universe.
Oh.
And then you can also be a Gnosia. So how the game kind of works is that you go through a loop, and there's one other character who's also looping with you, which is really when the game starts to get really fun and like exciting, I guess. Is like when you realize, like, she's like from the get-go, like, hey, day 2, I'm looping at the same time. Our loops are not synced. This isn't the same. Like, I might be on loop 30 and you're on loop 2, like, kind of thing going on. So this is really interesting, like, overarching story that you have to kind of figure out. And for whatever reason, you just keep on looping and you're keeping dealing with this. And now the meat of the game comes from, while it's a roguelike and people's roles are different every time, and people's like who their friendships are with and who their enemies are with, because like there's a underlying under the hood thing that's like, hey, this one character Setsu likes me, so they're more likely to go to my defense. Or this run, this person doesn't like me, they're more likely to throw shade on me. But their personalities are the same for the most part, except for one guy. And what that means is like someone like Setsu might be more loyal. So even when she's a Gnosia, she's less likely to kill her friends. And so a part of this game is learning the characters' personalities, what if they would go after certain people during like in certain roles. Are they willing to lie? Because I didn't mention it, but typically once you get later in the game, people are just lying about what roles they have all the time.
Of course,
just constantly. Yeah. They're just like, I'm engineer. There's 3 engineers. There can't be 3 engineers. And so then it becomes a fun little logic puzzle of like, hey, you can't be engineer because like this would have happened or whatnot. And I guess another thing I forgot is that the engineer, the Gnosia can't kill the bug. If the Gnosia try to kill a bug at night, the bug will not die. If an engineer tries to scout a bug, the bug evaporates, dead.
No.
So, like, there is some also play that you can do as you level up, because there is a leveling up system and there's a stat system, is that you can be like, hey, we should not vote anyone out tonight because there's still a bug. And I think we're close to winning. But if we win while the bug is still here, like, we lose.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so much little fun, like, interplay and logic puzzles that you kind of go around. And runs are quick. Runs are like, they can last 5 minutes because I'm kind of chicanery, or they can go to like 20-ish minutes. I think maybe the longest run I've had. And that's not even saying that some of the weird events that might happen that might derail a run completely. So it's super fast. You get XP for doing your job right. for like just living, winning, and like protecting the people during a run if you're the bodyguard, examining the right people if you're an engineer, killing people if you're Nosha. And all the while you raise stats, which basically amount to, hey, people are more likely to listen to you. You're more likely to detect people lying. You're more likely to like stand not be put in cold sleep because people just like you more, that kind of stuff. That's my elevator pitch for no show.
Your stats are like your influence.
Mm-hmm. And as your stats go up, though, you do get access to different commands that you unlock. Like you unlock the concept of the command via like some of these social events. Like someone, you might do something and you're like, I've never thought to do that. Now you can do that once your stats like strong enough to be able to do it. Like say you need 20 intuition or to be able to like, or 20 logic, I think it is, to be able to look at somebody and go, hey, logically that person has to be a bad guy. So like these stats do matter and they do come into play, and every character has their own sets of stats that don't change, but they grow. Like as the games go on, like certain characters, like they'll just get better at what they're already good at. So you can't like lap them in like being able to hide and be able to mischievous and kind of stuff like that, which is neat.
I like this idea
Mm-hmm.
of a social deduction game that tells a narrative throughout, and that like evolves and grows as you play it. Um, the part in a game like this that always scares me
Mm-hmm.
is playing that role of not trying to get found out,
Mm-hmm.
purely because it's a single player game. And I think it's really easy to basically just be like, well, the game knows because it's in the code that I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, and I think that might be a reasonable concern. They do give you enough tools to like, so say you're Nosha and you're Nosha with two other people,
Mhm.
and the game gives you enough tools to like throw shade onto other people because of all this under the hood like math where certain characters act emotionally. So if you just get on their good side, even if they're on the other like team, basically, they still just like won't want to vote you out. They'll be like, no, it can't be that person. So like there's a way to play where even like, yeah, so the game like knows that you're the no-show or the bad guy. You can still like characters, unless they have definite proof, always will react either if they're the logic character, logically, or if they're an emotional character, emotionally.
Mhm.
Or if they're one of the there's a couple characters that are all self-centered. And I love them, one of them to death and the other one.
Well, you almost said both.
Yeah. SQ, the one that you see on the screen a lot, she's one of the ones that will just like, she will throw you to the wolves just to save herself. So if you're on the same team as her, sometimes it's just like you don't want to get close to her. But like the game has like, once you start figuring out these kind of personality traits, um ways to kind of like that make you feel more secure in like in just the fact that like, yeah, the game knows that you're this role or what role and whatnot.
It's interesting because this game came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Among Us was out in 2018.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really popped off until COVID.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
So it's interesting seeing all these like concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And now I understand it's social deduction. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
similar. But that genre just hadn't really blown up until Among Us kind of blew it up.
Yeah, especially like in the video game sphere, for sure.
Yes, exactly. Because like we were playing Werewolf,
Werewolf
yeah,
in
for years.
2013. Yeah.
Um, I forget what I was saying, but yeah, the I don't know. It just sounds like they did a really good job putting this into a single player experience.
Mhm.
Because my recent experience with a single player social deduction game was the Demon Bluff playtest,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which that is mostly just like the logic puzzle part
Mhm,
that you described in here. Um, because you don't have like I guess a personality. You're not
mhm,
trying to convince anyone of anything. That game is purely here's the puzzle of like all these characters, what they're saying, figure out who's good and who's bad. Um, and one of the things I was gonna pitch was
mhm,
a round of Demon Bluff is real quick. Like these
mhm,
little logic puzzles, real quick. You can kind of fly through them, but then some of them you gotta like really stop and think and work out. But then you were like, oh yeah, this game is like 5 to 20 minutes. I was like, oh
mhm,
wow, this is actually like way faster than I would have thought comparing it to strictly the
mhm.
social logic puzzle deduction game
Yeah,
that I played.
yeah, so some of the things that, like, that help streamline it, so, like, I think the longest game you can play is, like, 15 crew members with only 1 Noja,
Mhm.
because just, like, it's a matter of, like, it like, that math-wise, it just has to be the longest game you can play. Um, but, one of the things that helps streamlines it is that when you're doing your day phase, there's only 5 turns basically before you have to vote. The game forces you to vote after 5 turns. So that can be you calling somebody out, then somebody else calling somebody out, or like you defending. And the game makes it very clear, like you should not be talking all the time. People get really mad if you're hogging the spotlight. They'll be like, "That's suspicious. You're trying to like deflect."
Yeah.
So like it is a lot of just like picking and choosing your turns in these sections, and then it just quickly you get to the um you get to the voting phase, you get to the night phase, like where you just talk to one person. Those conversations can be super quick. Um, if they're conversations at all, typically they're just there to show you like, oh, this person likes me this round, this loop, or this person hates me this loop. Um, then no should kill, and you're right back at it again. I think I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, the other like fun little twist is that like these random events that will happen, where things just like completely unaccounted for do happen sometimes and derails your run, and but they don't happen frequently enough for it to be like annoying. Like you're like, oh, I was having a great run. What the fuck? And they happen like it's like a pleasant surprise. Like you're like 30 loops in, and then all of a sudden, like something happens where certain characters act a certain way that's bonkers, and it's like exciting. Which is like eventually I'm sure like I'll stop running into these moments because the game has like, you know, a finite amount of things that can happen.
Mhm.
But for now I'm like, oh, this is rules.
I think
And
another thing that helps with that is how quick everything happens. So like when something bonkers happens and it throws you off, like how much time is that really
mhm.
like hurting you, I guess? You know, and it doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, like that's like one of the things. Like I was streaming it to the Discord channel with my one of my friends who was watching, and he was just like, he he just kept laughing at me, being like, "All right, we gotta do one more run. We can come on, one more run," just because it fits that itch of like I can do better. I know how
Yeah.
exactly how to like trick this one person. And then the and once you start getting enough runs in, one of the things the game does, which I think is neat, is that when you start a run after you're like 14th loop, you can start choosing all the numbers in the game. You can choose the amount of crew members, the amount of Gnosia, up to, I think it's up to 15 crew members. Not all of them have to appear. So if you have 7, it'll be like random amount of crew members. Gnosia, I think 1 to 6. And then each of the roles you can turn on and off, as long as there's like logically enough space for those roles. And then you can pick your own role. But there's also a button that like randomizes it to give you the best chance to unlock a scene you haven't unlocked yet. So like if you just are trying to get the story of the game, like what's happening in the background, why all this is happening, you can just click that button and like you typically have a better chance of doing something. Which is again just a neat little player fun thing, like a quality of life feature.
So now there's an anime.
There's an anime. Last weekend, I think the first episode dropped.
Last weekend, first episode, you watched it?
Yeah. And it was, so they have to create a character for the main character.
Right.
So immediately, like, you have to, like, kind of be okay with that. But again, the character they created it was cool. It was nice. It was fun. And it was so, just right off the bat, enthralling to see this character make the same fucking mistakes that I did on my first day.
Oh, that's cool.
And these are not scripted mistakes. These are things where you clearly have player agency and choice.
Yeah.
And everything this character did, they did what I did. And I thought that was such a good, like, fucking, like, joke on me almost. But yeah, I watched the first episode of the anime. The characters, I think you see 4 of them in the first episode. You see you, Rukio, SQ, Setsu, obviously, because they're the other looper. And I think that's... No, there has to be 5, right? Or else that wouldn't make sense. You ice somebody, they kill somebody, then you choose. Yeah, okay. So what the fuck's the 5th character? Oh, Gina. Quiet, that's why. But what sells this anime for me so far is a lot of the cinematography. Because it is just an anime about people talking. So like you have to really nail like how a character is acting in a certain manner and when they're acting in a certain manner in order to like really add the suspicion and kind of like that, and like it making you the viewer not know what the hell's going on. But what I think is just genius is the fact that it's based off a roguelike mystery game, is that it can just do whatever the hell it wants after the first day.
Yeah.
Like you might want to put some events from the game in because they're good events or whatnot, but you could do whatever.
Yeah, there's no specific like order or formula that they need to follow to be like, this is just like the game.
And I watched the first episode and I went, hell yeah, I was like, I'm in. I'm just ready to hang out. And just like watch the show as it keeps going. But boy, I think the Gnosia anime is going to be a banger, and I think this game is a banger. Right now, it's like, again, it's like $13.50 on Steam. For a social deduction game if you're lonely and don't have enough friends to play like Werewolf. I think it's a wonderful time.
Cool. Have I'm assuming they said, but do you know how many episodes the anime is set up for?
It's definitely in the lower 20s. I can't remember if it was like 21 or 23, which is more than I thought that this necessarily needed, but that just gives them more time to play, I think, and hopefully it doesn't start to meandering, because that is a worry.
Yeah,
it's like this could just have been in like a one core 13 episode show,
because like you said, it is just talking.
Yeah,
you know, it's just interactions like that. So I can see it. I can see, I was gonna say player, just like character interactions being dragged out too long. But hopefully not.
I think that if they expanded on some of like the events, like there are some events that seem like that are stressful and more more involved than um like the visual novel really kind of like is able to like convey easily. So like there's a light spoiler, I guess. So there is a event that happens where like there's just another thing on the ship. And it is like causing a problem. And I think you could extend that event into be a whole episode.
Mhm.
And so like I think like that's kind of where it will come down. And I like my I guess my worry is that like it doesn't move the plot enough. Like you have 20 something episodes, as long as you're giving hints in
21. Yeah, I looked it up.
21. As long as you're giving 9 plus 10, as long as you're giving hints to uh like what the overarching narrative is gonna like be and how they're gonna resolve that, which I still haven't got to in the game and I played for 10 hours. Um like I think this should be great.
Cool.
Mhm.
Exciting.
Mhm.
It's cool when video games become anime.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to point something out for you.
Mhm.
On the dock,
Mhm.
you've got this thing for anime adaptations of video games.
Mhm. Mhm.
You list Castlevania, Devil May Cry, Cyberpunk, Nair. You didn't name the big one.
Yeah, because my brain is hard, it's so hard to separate them. I'm assuming you're talking about Pokemon.
No,
Oh, okay. Because like that's like the big one, right?
I was talking about Akiba Girls,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
an Akiba strip,
Mm-hmm.
Akiba's trip,
Trip.
Akiba
Did
strip.
did you look through the like the Wikipedia doc of like all video game anime adaptations?
I started to, and I saw
It's
that.
it's mostly ecchi visual novels
Yeah,
adaptations.
yeah.
Um,
I just wanted
uh,
to do this little bit where you
I like it.
thought
I
I was
appreciate
talking about Pokemon, but I was talking
it. Mm-hmm.
about the naked girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, Speaking of, this is a little aside. I watched like 5 minutes of an Una Musume anime,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Yo, this kind of bangs." I
Hell
just
yeah.
wanted to watch one of the races. That's all I wanted to watch, and I was like, "Yeah, this kind of got the stuff."
I
If somebody was
actually,
like,
when the game came out
"Mm-hmm,
over here, and like I started playing it and talking about it, and it started getting like more like mainstream focus, I guess.
mm-hmm,
I'm pretty sure Domo knew what it was because he had seen the anime.
mm-hmm,"
He didn't know that it was a game, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I know the anime."
I was just like, I had to check it out because when I was like looking at stuff this morning, one of the articles was like top 5 anime of the fall season, and number 1 was Cinderella Gray season 2. And
Heck
I'm like, all
yeah.
right, I'm gonna go check out a scene from this. Let me see if it has hands,
You start
and it
playing
has hands.
and you got hit with those hands,
Yeah.
huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, but back to game adaptations. One of the things that I thought was really neat is that Gnosia is made by like an independent studio. This is their only game
Mhm.
under, at least under the name that they have now. It looked like they might have had another game under a previous name, but nothing big. Um, and there's not a whole lot of indie games that have anime adaptations.
No.
I put it in the docket. There's a game called Angels of Death, which is like a RPG Maker horror RPG that has an anime that my let me do math. 12-year-old little sister went up to me and was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" I'm like, "That's crazy that you know what this is," because like I like was only barely aware of it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's just super neat that like we're at this era where like even indie games are being like, cynically capitalist mined for um anime adaptations. Like how long are we until Undertale anime?
Oh, don't say that. That would be kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that like
Give it to Glitch.
give it to Glitch, yeah.
Let the indie guys do it.
Or you keep going down the trend where like now that Spindlehorse has Homestruck and they're making the Homestruck one,
Yeah,
and Undertale is like 30% Homestruck, and they just now keep that going. They make the Undertale.
I think Toby Fox didn't Toby Fox actually. Maybe I'm going crazy. I thought I saw that he helped with the Homestruck anime.
That's great. I mean, I believe it. I think he loves it.
I could be wrong. For some reason, that's the thing I saw. Last bit I wanted to say for Gnosia, um, I'd be interested to see what like this team
Mm-hmm.
could do with another game.
Yeah.
Same type of game, like Gnosia 2,
Mm-hmm.
or just another like social deduction game based on like what they've learned from this game, and then just like the explosion of the scene and like what's happened since this came out. Interesting to see.
Yeah, and it's like also weird because like this game, I think seems successful enough for
Yeah,
like what it is, and like I mean, obviously I don't know every company's financial situation, but I would love to see another game from them. I think
yeah.
I don't know if they've said anything. The studio, let me check real quick about what they're working on, other than that they worked on the video game, and I think they worked on the anime a little bit.
I'm sure they like oversaw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Potentially, if there was to be another Gnosia,
Mm-hmm.
if it came out around 2027 or later, you could see it on the next generation of consoles,
Good second.
because rumor has it the
Rumor has
PlayStation
it.
6 and the next Xbox, which is rumored, which is codenamed to be Xbox Magnus. Yeah,
The code names are dumb.
codenames. I don't know. Dolphin was a pretty cool code.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently they're both coming out in 2027. Um, they're what I saw was basically like leaks for the next Xbox, like processor and like its inner components.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then along with that, I also saw apparently the PlayStation 6 has also been saying they're coming out in 2027. But there's more rumors for the Xbox, where apparently they're also just like out there openly saying 2027 to
Mm-hmm.
developers. Um, so I've got the article here. I'll bring that up real quick. PS6 next gen Xbox will reportedly launch in 2027. Xbox Magnus said to be more powerful, more expensive. And aside from the hardware nonsense that
Mm-hmm.
they talk about, or the specifics, the rumors that are said about the Xbox or the next Xbox go hand in hand with, I think it's Sarah Bond. I forget,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
someone from
further down the
Xbox.
article, she says she hints that.
Yeah, and I think we even talked about it on this show once, where um it was it was basically hinted at that like the next Xbox will have more than just like the Xbox game store on it.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was implied that like you'll see Steam or Epic or maybe whatever you want, because apparently this thing is basically just going to be a computer.
Mhm.
Just
With where they're going, I imagine like Ubisoft Play or EA Play. I don't remember what Ubisoft's store thing is called, but with Game Pass the way it is, those are probably on there.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um,
Mhm.
I I like the idea, and it's not a new idea, of trying to bring your TV top console gaming system closer to a PC.
Mhm.
Um, However, with the reports that they're showing for this next Xbox, it sounds too close to a PC.
Mhm.
Uh, to the point where like the price range that I'm seeing, and in this economy, in this regime, who knows
Yeah.
what prices will be later. But like the price range I'm seeing is like 800
Mhm.
to 1,000 plus. And there's going to be too many people that are like, I'll just get a PC
Mhm.
instead of this. Because you have to imagine part of the price tag just goes for the Xbox brand, added on top of just Windows, just Microsoft on top of Microsoft. They're just layering their own brand to add a higher price tag. Um, Again, it's not new. Alienware had a brief stint of, I forget what they called them, but they were basically like mini PCs, closer to the size of like a PS6 is, or a PS5, I mean, and like the Xbox Series X. Pretty big, but small for a PC. And that's what those were supposed to be. Those were supposed to be your PCs that you can kind of use like a console.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, it, it's just potentially creating a new landscape where all three major console developers are doing something different.
Yeah.
Like,
For like
like,
the first time ever, really.
yeah, because since the Switch, really, I guess Nintendo kind of separated themselves.
Mhm.
Where they were like basically like they're not chasing the same things that Xbox and Sony were chasing, and kind of started going their own path with like their hybrid console, um, and their like offset release schedule. But now, if Microsoft is trying to make their Xbox just another PC, um, Sony's just left alone as like your standard video game console. And I think that is easier to sell,
Mhm.
especially with a lower price tag than what this Xbox is supposed to be.
Yeah, my like again, my major concern for both of these is just like it comes down to timing, and like you can point to like 7-year generations and whatnot. But that 7 years doesn't feel real, right? Um, like these still feel too soon to
Mhm.
me. These like I I can't imagine being in the market for either of these.
No. Yeah.
Um, I can't like it just like especially with the price points. If like we're talking and like we will be talking probably of that 800 to 1,000 dollars in a who knows what kind of world we're living in
Mhm.
then, if even if we make it that far. Um, and like you could argue for on Xbox's sides, that like I was like you might want to get a computer like instead of getting the Xbox that is also a computer, but like also I guess like to their benefit, how much will the computer be at that point? Um, and uh, it's just like it's crazy to me that we're already here when it feels like these generations have like not moved the needle at all. Like you'll say like, oh, PlayStation like is so far ahead. Like sure, but did they widen that gap this generation?
So
Like
I
didn't
think that
people
could
run to PCs this generation?
I think that could potentially play into a new generation. Is this generation feeling like it didn't move the needle? Um, because like both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are just, you know, a standard iteration on a console.
Mm-hmm.
And momentum, it's weird because sales are obviously like overall bigger because gaming is bigger, but
Mm-hmm.
it still feels like the momentum has slowed down. Um, and the recent uptick in like indie gaming,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of indie gaming stuck on PC. Um, so I think that's something that does feel like it's left these consoles kind of like, as you said, like not moving the needle. Um, yeah, and I do wonder if that's part of the reason of these companies being like, we need to reiterate on something. We need something new as soon as we can do it. We need to do something different. And hey,
As like uh,
another thing that to me throws off these like the timing for these console generations is Nintendo being on their own schedule.
mhm,
Like the Switch 2 just came out. And the Switch 2 is like, if we're talking in generations, is part of this generation, the PS5, Xbox Series X generation.
mhm.
Um, but it was a new console launch. Uh, so it just it feels weird to be like, we just got this new thing, and then in 2 years we're gonna get more new things. I don't know.
And like but like the Switch 2 sold like fucking phenomenally, so
It did.
like who knows whatever we're saying. Like people are gonna buy like the fancy tech to buy it. Um it just like it, yeah, I'm so I don't believe in either of these. Like I believe that they exist. I don't believe in their ability to produce and make the money they need to make. Not that consoles make money off it anyway.
Right. And um, we don't really know anything about the
Mhm.
PS6. Um, the Xbox at least is, from the sounds of it, trying to do something different. I love the idea of a developer like development working across PC and console and just like
Mhm.
making that easier. It's just the price of that
Yeah.
Magnus, uh, which I think is just going to be too off-putting.
I think another like little needle in this is like depending on how much more power the Xbox has than the PS6 is like how does that affect third party dev teams? Like you see that a little bit with like when people were trying to put stuff on the Switch that shouldn't have been tried to put on the Switch. Um is like like it sounds annoying to be like, well, the console should have some amount of parity between them so we can get everything working on everything. Um, but like, I guess like this is Xbox's push. If we make a super console that PlayStation 6 is like weaker than, people want to come to our console finally to like have the game in a better way.
Mhm.
But how much better can anything be, right? At a certain point.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, you know, a big part of it is not necessarily how strong it is. It's the price point
mhm.
and what games can it play.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't think the Xbox Magnus being
Mhm.
stronger than the PS6 is going to be the biggest factor in its sales. I think it's going to be that it costs more than the
Mhm.
PS6. Um, and that the PS6 has Sony franchises on it, and the Xbox doesn't have anything exclusive anymore, really. Everything goes every Halo, is that it?
Mhm.
Halo's their one
For now.
franchise for now.
For now.
Exactly. Um, rumor has it, which has been for years, that's coming to the Switch.
Mhm. I mean, so
Uh,
like we get these in 2027. Like, I mean, part of this coming out this year is that like these console and development pipelines like start a long time. Like they probably started 5 years ago when they were
mhm.
starting to work on the next console, so they have to come out eventually. They put so much R&D money in this kind of stuff. Now, I guess like my real question is like, does gen after this, what does that look like if that happens? Or is everything handheld now? Or is everything either a PC or a handheld?
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be three forms:
Mm-hmm.
a PC,
Mm-hmm.
a handheld, or cloud,
Yeah.
where it'll be playable on your PC and your mobile device and your smart TV. Um, but what that's how far away is that? That's probably what, like
2034,
10 years?
2035.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're again, the
Who knows?
human species
Who
make it that
knows?
far.
You've seen the war zones happen out here in Portland, so
Mm-hmm.
who knows? We got all those inflatable frogs and unicorns, and they're dancing in the streets. It's a total nightmare.
How dare they?
Yeah.
No dancing in my streets. We used to be a proper country.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah,
I
I don't
used
know.
to have a knee before I started dancing in the streets.
In in my point of view from these rumors, Xbox sounds like they're trying to be like rich babies beginner PC building experience.
Mm-hmm. But like it is crazy too, because like so like Abby, with like no oversight of me, pretty much, my little sister is 12, and she doesn't want a console really. She wants a PC.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's like where like I think the kids kind of are, because that's where you can play Roblox,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Um, yeah, like and like all the other stuff that they want to play. Like Abby's a big Genshin Impact person. She loves Genshin. She loves um just really Genshin. She'll play Mario. Like I gave her my Switch One, and she plays Mario Kart occasionally. She's
Mm,
like, I just want to play Genshin. She doesn't spend money on it, so she's
yeah.
doing it in the way that I think is the correct way to play the game. Roblox is not,
No, yeah.
unfortunately.
I have not heard anything about a US ban of Roblox.
No,
Oh,
because
except for, you know, parents banning their kids.
mm-hmm.
Because I know Tiana does not let her son play Roblox.
Yeah.
But, to go to your point, my nephew, 10 years old, just a couple of
Mm-hmm.
years younger than your sister. And he, he's different where he just plays everything and anything really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he does a ton of his gaming on his PC. And from throughout his life, like he's had everything. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
had the Nintendo consoles, the Sony consoles, Xbox console, and a PC. And the ones that in my point of view, felt like he stuck with the longest was originally the Switch, and now the PC. Still likes his PlayStation, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he plays his PC more.
Yeah.
I also just like with my friends and like family of friends, like the people who I play Fortnite with, and then my wife plays Fortnite with, they'll play other games outside of each other. Like Tara will play a game and want to play with everyone else. And they'll be like, holy crap, that sounds awesome. And then it'll be like, oh, it's PC only.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have
Yeah.
PCs or something.
It's very interesting going from like the era where like it was like consoles were what people talked about, and what consoles were what people cared about 100% of the time, and now we're just like at this like the all those PC master race people, which it's a silly slogan,
Yeah.
but like are coming up and being like everyone, it's like that's just like the norm. I think the normal opinion is like, oh yeah, like you can just do whatever you want on a PC.
Yeah. Greg Miller's got his work cut out for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's funny to watch him become a PC gamer now. Well, he's more of a like the
Handheld.
ROG, like
Oh, yeah, yeah,
he likes the ROG.
yeah. Because it feels more like a console than a PC.
Mm-hmm. I also think that like as a parent, sometimes those handheld things are more like quality of life stuff going on. Like you can do it while other things are happening.
Yeah, that's what Tiana does. Um, she they got their son the ROG a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago. Um, but since then he's just got a PC, so he doesn't use the ROG. So now Tiana uses the ROG, and now she just plays like Peak or other games
Mm-hmm.
while being a parent around the house. It's very good, very nice.
More gamers than ever. If only they had the money to spend on video games.
I know. I know. It's unfortunate. I can't tell you how distracting hearing myself has been.
No, I know. I
I
like that's. I don't know why you powered through it. I really thought we were gonna figure out something before we went live.
No, I didn't. I took one ear out
Mm-hmm.
off my headset to try to make it like, oh, there's our document, to try to make it a little bit easier.
Because like having to power through hearing your own voice is like it's just I don't like hearing my own voice to begin with, let
No,
alone immediately after I say a word.
it's tough. But moving on, we had the next gen console leak, and another mega leak
Yeah.
in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about mega evolutions.
Bow, bow, bow.
Uh, what is it? It's like the Terra leak, because it was like Terra Leak
Yeah.
2, because the first one was like a terabyte worth of data.
So this is part of that same like leak that happened like a year ago or so, but like they just withhold a bunch of information and whatnot. Um, Probably just trying to, you know, blackmail Game Freak and whatnot. Um, and then just being like, fine, we'll release it. Um, so like, this leak was like gotten by like, I think nefarious means, which is its own moral question. But
Yeah, it was hacked.
yeah.
From my understanding, there was, Nintendo was not like directly hacked for this information. It was like a I didn't look too much into this, but it was like a third party company that had access to Nintendo that got hacked. So it's like, yeah, these hackers
Um,
found a hole through another company to get into the Pokemon company.
yeah. And within that hack, we have basically Pokemon's like 10-year plan.
Lot.
Almost. So
There's
like,
so much.
yeah, it's maybe not 10 years, but it's very close. Um, and it's a little bit fascinating. There's so many different like aspects of this that are fascinating. Do you just want to talk about the future games and then circle back to like the production stuff, or
Let's start with, yeah, I have a few tweets here that are basically like general overviews. And then we'll start with, let's say, Gen 10.
got it.
So the two leaks I've got here, I've got one here from Central Leaks. They released all this information. Gen 10, Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Wave, releases 2026, set in Southeast Asia, island exploring, underwater exploring, open world. Main themes: infinity, survival in the jungle, or survival in the jungle. Procedural generation for islands, brand new graphics engine, switch to exclusive. And then this other one, also about Gen 10, open world exploration, land and water, procedural generated. Something about seed Pokemon, which is like still a little unknown. Unique evolutions for each player, custom flower / fractal patterns. Commands, gyms, and Titan Lord Pokemon includes weather quests, ride licenses, rescue missions, MMO raids, and Pokemon survival themes, Infinity Nature survival. And this is just Gen 10. We also had stuff for
The Legends one,
another
right?
Legends game, yeah, set in Galar. And this was a little confusing for me at first, because in Gen 10, Wind and Wave, there are Pokemon referred to as seed Pokemon. But there's also another game called Project Seed, which is the multi-regional like MMO game.
Yes. Yep.
Most of the information that I'd seen was about Gen 10, Wind and Wave. I think I saw a picture of like Pokemon Champions and its mobile UI. We got the cost of stuff. And then I saw a funny image of basically how something was pitched for the Galar Legends game. Did I miss anything?
I mean, Project Seed itself, right? Um, like the is that like yeah, because it's different, I think, than just the normal Gen 10. That's different than Wind and
Yeah,
Wave.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I
the
think Project
Project
Seed.
Seed is the all Japan regions,
Mhm.
which I don't know actually. When I first saw it, I saw it pitched as Gens 1 through 4. Like you go to oh my god, let's see if I can do this. Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and
Sinnoh.
Sinnoh. But like, why wouldn't you also just have Unova and have Hokkaido up there? But it doesn't
Expansions,
matter. Yeah,
DLC.
expansions, But so yeah, and that's the game that like seemingly is like you go through all of these regions during this like multiple um like big giant area. Where's the did I not where's the I remember I thought I had something here to talk about Seed a little more, but I guess not. That seemed crazy. That seemed like a fully open world kind of all um all regions, like just going and which is like I think what a lot of people wanted for like such a long time was
Forever.
just like
Yeah.
yeah,
It,
be
it
just free
combines
roam.
it combines multiple things that people
Hmm.
wanted forever. People wanted the Pokemon MMO. People also wanted a Pokemon game where you go to multiple
Hmm.
regions. It wasn't just um the one place. And so yeah, there's like a few ideas in there. And of all the leaks,
Hmm.
I could see this just never happening.
Yeah.
Never hearing about it and it never happening. Um from what we learned from the last leak, um the Pokemon company and Nintendo
Hmm.
put out these additional like ideas and goals and aspirations for a game, and then it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Um, so Pokemon Company and Nintendo are great at coming up with ideas,
Hmm.
but it just seems when they make the game and it finally comes out, they can't do it all.
Yeah, and part of that is comes down to the Pokemon. Just I was talking about it before. I'll talk about it again. The Pokemon team, the game developers at Game Freak, is way smaller than it should be with this the amount of money that Pokemon makes.
Yeah.
Um, and it's way smaller than most other AAA developers, even some AA developers. It's not a big team. It's like around within the 100 to 200 people range comparatively to like studios like in Bethesda that have like 800 plus.
Yeah.
Um, and it makes way more money than most other developers.
Hmm.
And the icing on the top of this is that like the production costs for these video games were also leaked in this. Pokemon ZA, just about to come out, has costs USD 13 million to make.
Um,
Gen and Gen 10 is said to be 20 million
yeah.
USD to make.
And then I had
That's
also seen that the
what.
Scarlet and Violet DLC
Mm-hmm.
was planned to be less, but its cost ended up equaling the cost of the entire Legends Arceus game.
It is just, and I will never stop harping on this. Fucking baffling to have the highest property of all time, highest selling property of all time. Period. Just there's no argument. It's made more money than gosh darn God. This little yellow rodents franchise. Um, and to put so little of that money back into the video game sphere, which is like one of its core pillars, you
Yeah.
would say anime, video games, merchandise, card game, right? Those are like the four Pokemon pillars. There's probably another one I'm just blanking on. And putting such a little amount of that into video games is crazy because that's like where a huge part of the community
Hmm.
gets their Pokemon fix.
Well, I'm trying to see.
drives me crazy.
Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
So Pokemon is like a big flagship property for Nintendo, and it's
Mm-hmm.
one of it is the biggest in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mainline game. What was it? Gen 10 so far, at least approximate 20 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Infinite is rumored to have cost as high as 500 million. And Halo's a big game. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
franchise. It's not Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what I was saying for the Scarlet Violet DLC, the DLC got to the point where it cost as much as Legend of Arceus. And that made Nintendo think we need to cut back on how much we spend on the DLC.
It's
It's
just
crazy.
maddening. It's just gosh darn maddening. Like um this we're now I'm going to get into just like people throwing numbers out there because of we don't have official data. Stuff like Breath of the Wild is estimated to have around $100 million USD budget. Mario Odyssey less than that. It's estimated to be around like 50 million. That's still like significantly more than they give to Pokemon, a franchise that sells better
Yep.
across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you can like argue like, well, Pokemon typically gets the advantage of like double dipping with their video games with the Scarlet and the Violets and blah blah. It doesn't matter. It still sells that much,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't make any sense. It's something that will never make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
And like, maybe that's why I'm impoverished and they're $1 billion company. But I wish that more time and money went into their video games.
We got to
Make them
start
better.
selling 2 versions of you.
Yes.
That's how we'll get you all that money, the Pokemon money.
Perfect.
All right, so Gen
Regular
10.
K and Heartless K.
I've got some pictures. Nope. Let's transition to this. So this was a picture from the league. And the title, I don't know what any of this on here says, but the title that I saw was from you, idea versus prototype. And this kind of, I mean, this looks real nice, right? You look at this, immediately the lighting looks great in that first picture. And that, I believe, is like the idea part, right?
Yeah.
That was the pitch. This is somebody made this and pitched like, hey, this is what we could look like. And then the right side is like the prototype that they had going and how it looks. Which obviously like
very like early on development and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like don't take too much into what the prototype looks like.
But if you like zero in on what this idea, it's like I think the idea that most people want from a Pokemon video game. You get to run around, it looks like with your little guy, and you see all these other people just like living in the world.
Yeah, again, a lot of the leak was confusing to me. Because I kept like mixing stuff up.
In different language. Also.
Well, there's that. I can't read it. But no, just seeing stuff that's like talking about this game, Gen 10 and the Project Seed. Because I think, if I remember, in this game, Gen 10 also had plans for like not fully MMO, but had some sort of MMO-esque area where you could see other players and talk to them and probably battle and whatnot. And yeah, that's another part of it is just like seeing other real people in your game.
Mhm, mhm.
Um,
Trying to
and this one exclusive Switch 2. So, hopefully,
to be able to run better.
yeah, hopefully it performs better. Hopefully you can
Mhm,
make it look nicer. Um, we know they can make it look nicer. There's other Nintendo made RPGs that are very big and look nicer
mhm,
than Pokemon. Um, there's also in the leak I saw they are making new models for the Pokemon. So that's promising
yeah.
graphically anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
and, like, part of like, the models are very important, obviously,
mhm,
and, because, like, that's, like, when you first see you see people meme all the time about, like, certain, like I think the Typhlosion line, like, the way their fire looks, like, in 3D doesn't look good, and, like, that kind of stuff happens
yeah.
all the time. So the new models are important. Um, I think they, like I don't, like I don't know, and I don't know, like, outside of just, like, spending more money on it, and which is what I really think the answer is, or hiring more people, combination of both, like, what they're just gonna make new models, and they're gonna focus on them, but they're gonna, like I don't know, like, is that enough to, like, just, like, completely rewrite the wheel? It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right? You know what I mean?
I I understand a lot of people's arguments against essentially what you were saying, like the translation
Mhm,
from sprite to 3D and how Pokemon look and how
mhm,
they look different and not as good in some situations. Um, I typically don't have too much of a problem with the models of Pokemon. It's the world.
mhm. Yeah, that's a big issue.
Um, and it's hopefully them working on new models of Pokemon is just a sign of them being like, hey, we can make our stuff look better. And then even in this prototype, not the prototype, but like the idea image on the left,
Mhm,
hopefully graphically it can look more modern. Um, I I do think just from the discourse in Pokemon that I've heard for years now, you make it look nice, it's gonna be enough for so many people.
yeah. Like, especially, yeah, like, it makes it look nice and varied, and there you go. You have it for most people.
Mhm. Here I haven't. Is this the other image I want? No, I don't want that image yet. Um, yeah, some other stuff that I heard about this game. Um, that we touched on in like these general tweets that I thought was interesting was the procedural generation,
Yeah,
where there's two types. There's some islands in the game that will be procedural generated. That's fine. That's cool.
Mhm,
As long as it works.
big if.
And then also the seed Pokemon, which
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a special Pokemon everyone's gonna get. Um, I think you need to level your seed Pokemon to certain levels to gain access to areas. Is what the rumors and leaks said. But I guess its design
Mhm,
has procedural portions to it. So that way, everyone's seed Pokemon theoretically will have a different
mhm.
like flower pattern, or I forget what other like
Yeah,
examples
fractals
they
and, like,
used.
stuff like that. Um, It makes me nervous. Just because it seems like very like a grandiose idea, but at the same time, it feels like the natural evolution of like what they do with like Pavilion.
Yeah, yeah.
Of like
Or
have a different colored moth guy, and and the creator
Spinda.
obviously of Pokemon is a big bug dude. You have a billion different gosh darn bugs everywhere. So it makes sense like that he's gonna want to have like, you know, like your little individually evolving and like that seems like the dream, right? To have like your own personal little guy that's just for you. Um and different than everyone else's little guy. But
There's going to be an economy. There's going to be people who start the game, get their seed Pokemon with whatever pattern, trade it out, and start over, and then just build up the supply of this seed Pokemon, and then are gonna sell them and be like, "Look at this one actually has its flower behind its eye, and that's super rare."
Yeah, what's like the chances of getting spore like monstrosities?
Yeah, who knows? See, that's the thing though, is I don't think the procedural generation is going to be quite like that. I don't think it's going to be like a spore or like No Man's Sky kind of thing. I'm assuming it's going to be like a pattern. Like Spinda has different like patterns. I think it's going to be something more similar to that. And then maybe like here's, you know, 15 different flowers that could grow off its head. And here's another 15 different colors each petal could be. And then here's all the different areas that a vine could grow and wrap around them. And then it's just going to like take all that and plus a, you know, just a texture and it'd be like, look, they're all different. And that's cool. Some people are going to get unlucky with that and be like, oh my God, he's so ugly. What the heck? But yeah, I don't know. I think the procedural generation for that Pokemon and the islands.
The other thing about just real quick about the seed Pokemon, it's just the name in general makes me think of like, you know, when you create like a seed world, you have like you're like, is your Mon going to be tied to what procedural islands get made? Like, is it going to be like because of your Mon's like hidden number, right? Because of its certain like the procedural generated stuff it takes on, is that going to tie itself to an island? If you trade me your seed Mon, can I go to a specific island you've been to? That stuff I think could be neat, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like the secret number in like the lottery, the Pokemon lottery.
Yep. Yeah.
Could be interesting. Could be cool. Stuff like that helps foster more like community experience, which is cool. Then that's again, you know, people be like, hey, if I trade you one of my Pokemon, my seed that you get for this island could have a Bergmite on it.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. The Bergster.
Yeah. What else did we get out of this? The Galar Legends. Galar. Yeah, another Legends game rumored to be in the Galar region. And here's a picture that I got apparently from this leak, which was pitched for the Galar Legends game, and it is inspired by Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's not it. But here's some stuff anyway. Where is that? Oh my God. I have it somewhere.
Um, so like what I first of all, just like it being Galar and it being set in the past, seemingly again, I mean I like this kind of like past look at like I like Legends Arceus because it's unique and interesting to me in the Pokemon space. Um, more so than I care about ZA because it's more modern and
Mhm.
like I'm sure like me. I mean I've listened to some reviews today. Apparently it's good enough, but
Yeah.
it doesn't move the needle inherently in my brain. Whereas something like you talking about Galar, you talking about the place where Knights of Camelot could be. You're talking about that kind of era going back in time too. That's kind of interesting. The quick design doc of like this weird looking Wobbuffet is interesting. I like Wobbuffet.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, if you don't like Wobbuffet, maybe
Shouldn't be
you're
playing Pokemon.
yeah, maybe you're a class traitor.
Um, yeah, you can kind of see in that image on the right
Mm-hmm.
somebody wearing like a classic like mage
Mm-hmm.
hat and cloak. And then something going on with that Slowking.
Yeah, it
Uh,
looks like a Galar Slow King, right?
mhm,
We use Chef.
mhm.
Mhm.
Um,
Instead of becoming a king, it's Slow Chef.
it's Slow Chef. Ooh. Um,
It's not
but yeah,
something you want your chefs to be slow.
a Pokemon game set in like classic RPG times, like those like
Mm-hmm.
medieval esque JRPG like settings. That sounds super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's also something that like um Arceus did. Arceus setting was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that the Legends games do fairly well. Um, the Lumio City isn't quite like the same as the setting for Arceus or the setting for the Galar game, but
Mm-hmm.
the thing it does the same is it just like hyper focuses on something, and in this case, it's Lumio City, which was supposed to be this giant thing. So that's cool. That's good.
Mm-hmm. It is a bit of a shame they chose the city based on France when we already had the defining piece of France video game come out this year too. So
Well,
you know, look at two French IPs and be like, wow, we mistimed this one. These.
here's that image though that uh, was apparently the design pitch. Bam. Um, this is apparently the exact image that was pitched for this that somebody like cut together, where it's just like Xenoblade Chronicles, but with like some weird Pokemon stuff cut out and pasted on top of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining somebody just like at the Pokemon Company just finished playing Xenoblade for the first time, and they were like, "What if we did this?"
It's the best kind of game development.
But it was Pokemon, and they were like, "Okay, sure."
I
So
mean,
yeah,
listen,
this
a
is just a funny image
large
that I saw.
open world RPG Pokemon game that has all the like the stuff that you would imagine from a modern day open world RPG would be great. Instead of we get open world Pokemon games that feel
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously 20 years in the past, but in like the wrong direction of the past.
Yeah. Um, I don't know how much more
Yeah.
concrete info we have for these leaks. Um, so I guess to close this out with the initial reaction
Mm-hmm.
happening right now to ZA
Mm-hmm.
and these rumors and ideas and prototypes for Gen 10, which is Wind and Wave, Project Seed, and the Scalar game. Are you more excited for Pokemon?
I am not inherently. I don't know if I see anything in these leaks that really move the needle for me until they're fleshed out more. I feel like my love of Pokemon is close to maybe its all-time low in general. And so it's hard for me to see stuff in here that isn't not more of the same, but
Not
like
enough.
not enough different, which I guess is just more of the same in a different way. Uh, like I just don't see anything that's like screaming at me. But that being said, like these things can. If I flip it over and I try to think positively about things, Southeast Asia is a cool environment. If the game runs well and looks good, and they put like mechanical thought into it more than Scarlet and Violet, maybe that game will just be enough for me. Maybe Galar Legends, like again, in that like old nighttime, that's a really cool setting. Seed seems super like ambitious, but of course I have nostalgia for at least 3 of those 4 regions and would love to run around in that. That being said, I need to know way more about like the gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, for me,
I could be more
for,
excited.
for, for me, everything that I'm hearing sounds exciting, but I absolutely cannot let myself get excited about it because I know how the Pokemon games historically like go. Yeah, and a lot of this just sounds too ambitious for the number of employees that that company has. Yeah.
I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm like, as long as they keep making stuff like Pokemon Concierge or like a couple of the other side projects, like yeah, I'll still love Pokemon. But the games themselves have just been not for me lately, especially in a world where I got Digimon earlier this year and went, huh, this is a video game that solves some problems I have with Pokemon.
Yeah. There's a part of me that wishes the Legends games were more different than they are. I appreciate that they are like iterating on mechanics of, you know, the main series. But there is a part of me that's just like, what if you just made not an RPG? What if it was like Pokemon Conquest 2? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. My love of Pokemon, I guess, is also at like probably an all-time low, same as you. Not that I don't love Pokemon or am excited about it. I think I always will be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like apprehensive one right now.
Well, Chris, speaking of things that are also dying.
Yeah. Rock Band.
Rock Band.
Rock Band 4 specifically.
4 went out.
Happy anniversary, Rock Band
Happy
4.
anniversary.
10 years.
Time to die.
To celebrate your dead. Yeah. How much of this have you seen?
Almost none of it. You put this on and I glanced over this article.
So, Rock Band 4, here's the gist. Rock Band 4 is turning 10 years old. The music licenses for the game were for 10 years. So the game and all its DLC is being delisted
Gone.
because the license is up. Anyone who owns the game and any of the DLC, you still have access to it. You can still uninstall it and reinstall it. But nobody can buy anything new. So, yeah, if you have Rock Band 4 on your machine, it will kind of become one of those like PT kind of situations where like you might be able to sell your account because you have Rock Band.
Yeah, I'm going to sell you my account because I have Rock Band and every single DLC for it.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. It won't be a big thing. But there will be people who like want the entire library of Rock Band 4 and will be able to just buy someone's console that has it all. And this sucks.
Yeah.
It's something that like I felt like I knew that this was a thing that would happen with like these like music games. But it's still like is almost a little bit of a shock and surprise when it actually happens.
This is something that like my two hobbies in life are being a musician and being a person who plays video games. I have more than two hobbies, but those are two of the hobbies. And those are two of the biggest hobbies, I think. Those are the two that I care about the most. And so I understand like some of the contractual obligation nonsense and some of like the I want artists to get paid and musicians to get paid, and in the same way that I want game developers to get paid. This is like you see it all the time with like games like Alpha Protocol guiding delisted because of a song they didn't have the rights to anymore, or something that happens with like The Darkness and stuff like that. And typically with a lot of those games, it's like one or two songs and you renegotiate the license for it and let it, or just like create some like fair use nonsense, which is what happened to Crazy Taxi. You have to mod Crazy Taxi in order to put the original track. I mean, like the original tracks in it, because now they just have like generic kind of like rocky punk songs. Trying to renegotiate a contract with the amount of music Rock Band has in it does seem like a fucking nightmare.
Yep.
Does it seem like something Epic Games not trillion, but $1 billion corporation could maybe figure out? Yeah, but maybe they just don't see the money in it, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks. It's depressing.
Yeah, it does. And it just like we've seen it before in games, like you said, but it just helps bring up like, do you really own any of this?
No.
If like luckily you don't lose what you already have in this situation.
You just lose the potential of having more.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is. And like, and then it, you know, if you go over a friend's house and you play, you go home and you don't have that option available to you. So it sucks. It's kind of the nature of what we're in, but it also just kind of like, yeah, it makes me think like, what else is like coming up that we're gonna lose because of like licensing agreements. And not that I think we'll lose anything, but like Smash Ultimate just being like this giant collection of gaming IPs, not all of which are owned by Nintendo. Like I said, I don't think we'll lose anything, but it's the same situation where it's just like, well, how much of this are we actually ever going to be able to see in
Mhm.
the next game?
Yeah.
Um, but like, do you think that something like this could happen for characters? Again, not saying that it's like this in Ultimate, but could you see a world where like
Like Mortal
Ultimate
Kombat 9 or
or
something can't use the
exactly.
Terminator. Whichever one has the Terminator. I'm trying to think of what properties are owned by Warner Brothers, or even if Mortal Kombat does, because this is going completely off a different rail. A lot of people are like Midway or Mortal Kombat Studio might get sold off because WB Games is like in the position they are. Will they still have access to all the WB characters? Could that happen? It could. That being said, you are dealing with a lot less, I feel like, um, maybe moving parts. Like, I think what the undertaking with Rock Band 4 is like, not only do you have like just like the sheer amount of songs on there actually are just they're owned by different label companies, they're different artists, you have the amount of people that are getting paid in these transactions feels like a lot more than just like character creator and studio who owns said character.
Mhm.
That seems, it just in my brain it seems easier to do that, but I actually will say that there's, yeah, now it just pops in my head, there's a guest character in Tekken, in one of the Tekkens, who's not playable in the collection, or like in maybe it's not the collection, or it's his one of the Tekken games has like you can watch all of the old character endings of every Tekken game.
Mhm.
And they have characters that you can't watch because they were guest characters and not owned by Bandai Namco anymore. It's like I think the little dinosaur dude. There's a little dinosaur.
Oh,
Let me try to figure
Gone?
this out. Tekken dinosaur guest character.
Yeah, I think his name's Gone. G-O-N.
Yeah, yeah. Like where in like the modern Tekken games, when you go through all of the old um uh cutscenes, you can't see the Gone cutscenes. I'm pretty sure.
That's
So stuff like
crazy.
that is happening. It's just like way smaller scale than um the death of like basically the last bastion of its genre, which is the other layer to this, is that like there's not a real replacement for this game. And it's definitely not a replacement for Rock Band 4's 10 years worth of DLC.
Yeah.
You have Clone Hero, you have a PC, and you want to feel like you're cool, you can play Clone Hero. It's good. It's just a fan-made modded game, so like none of that is super official.
Yeah, I have a
Um,
totally legit copy of Fuser
mhm,
filled with totally legit um music that was always in the game and not
mhm.
custom. Mhm. You could do that
But
for free.
yeah, yeah. It's just like this. It sucks. It just sucks. And like, I don't like. You can't just like go out and be like, hey, in what October 5th, 2015, and be like, hey, all the songs in this game we only have for 10 years. Like you don't say that obviously to a consumer because they're gonna get cold feet. But it does suck for somebody who's bought a whole ecosystem or like invested in this ecosystem to have it being um like decimated like this, I guess. Because like yeah, they'll still have access to some of it.
It does it is an interesting thought too with Gone
Mm-hmm.
because he was Tekken 3.
Mm-hmm.
That game's forever old, right? The gaming landscape with like online play is different now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm imagining like if this happened like now, like
Mm-hmm.
let's say with like Tekken like 8, and then in however many years that licensed character is like removed as DLC,
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that like you could potentially play the game online
Mm-hmm.
versus another person with a character that you are unable to ever unlock?
Yeah, like
Right.
that. It would be crazy. It would be
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
And the same thing, with like Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat has Jason Voorhees. You buy him, you unlock him, and you play him. And then 10 years later, his license is up and you have him, but other people that you can play can't ever have him. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
People already get upset with like battle pass stuff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with like if you weren't there, you don't get it ever.
Yeah, they miss out on a whole character in
Yeah.
a system that yeah, I guess like in the same way like Guilty Gear saying in 10 years you can't download Lucy anymore.
Yeah.
Um, like that's the whole character you just wouldn't be able to have access to. That could create a asymmetrical um I don't know, game experience. I guess like you wouldn't be able to train against a Lucy since you don't have like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was trying to think if there were any other concepts. Like, I think the only other things I can think of are like in Soul Calibur 2, but like that I don't know if that really translates. Like like in the high def remasters for PS3 and 360, you couldn't play as Link,
Mm-hmm.
right? Soul Calibur 2's whole gimmick was that each console had a different exclusive character,
Yeah.
which I've never thought about what tournament seemed like was like for Soul Calibur 2 and what console it was played on until just now. I'm sorry, I went on off a brain spiral to something I've never thought about in my life.
I think it would be the same for 3. I think it's 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because 3
Yeah,
also had console exclusive characters.
yeah. Vader, Yoda,
And Kratos.
Kratos.
um, yeah, that's a good question. What if I'm a
Uh,
main?
mm-hmm. And so, like, does that make those games way less likely to get remade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or get like remasters because like you can't put like the other ones, or like maybe you just don't have the rights for the other ones. Like, there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff with the rights in video game guest characters that I don't think I've really parsed through my brain yet.
Well, there was also like in Smash 4,
Mm-hmm.
they banned I think it was Midgar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Final Fantasy 7 stage, right? Midgar.
Yep, yep, yep. That's a
They
big stage.
banned Midgar, I believe, in Smash 4 because when they uploaded the the set to YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
it got DMCA'd,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which also goes with like weird licensing stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. All of the Sony, I mean the Square Enix like specific songs, and the Square Enix music in general, I think has like goes through a bunch of different loops, which is
Probably.
why it was so difficult for Sakurai to get the non-Advent Children versions of those characters.
Yeah. Oh, well, Rock Band's dead. Rock Band
Rock
4
Band,
is
long live Rock Band.
it's old and dead. Um, however,
What
now
is
now
not
is the time for the birth of new games.
new games?
We can test out baby
Mm-hmm.
games.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if that was a thing? Is it actually? That kind of is a thing, isn't it? Holy crap! That's what foster care is. Uh, People
Yeah.
foster a child and for a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, this one's not for me.
Yeah.
Let me
You're
try
so
a
right.
different
You're
one.
so right.
That's terrible.
Or like working at a daycare.
Yeah. Oh no. So yeah, Steam
Video games.
Nextfest actually. Uh you have a couple games here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with yours, and
Yeah, so I
got a bunch
went
too.
through Steam Next Fest and I played some demos. There were a couple of games that I was like, oh, I really like that. I just didn't have the time to play their demos yet, or I've already played their demos, already talked about them in some way on the stream. Um, so before we get there, I'm just gonna reiterate: you should play Mr. Sleepy,
Mr. Sleeping Man.
Mr. Sleepy Man. You should play Mr. Sleepy Man. That game rules. That demo was a lot of fun. But going to the games I actually played for this show, um, number one is this Homura Hime game.
I'm gonna let you know right now
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of my busy schedule I've had and the apartment inspection and stuff today. This is the first time I am seeing any of these games that you are recommending.
Rock on. So I'm here to talk about them. Homura Hime is very much a seemingly indie made. I didn't actually look at Crimson Dust and what they've done. Let me do this real quick. Oh, it just brings me to PlaySim. So I assume that this is their only game. It's a very near like type of combat. It's very character action game. It feels a lot like at times like you're playing a Devil May Cry, but it feels more near automata because you have a lot of the bullet hill sections that are in this game. You have and you also have the shoot button, where you're like constantly dodging and shooting when you're not doing your melee combos. It's got a cute little art style. I do think that like some of the environments are a little bit empty, but this is early on, so I'll give that a fucking,
Pass.
whatever. It's just a pass. But what this game shines at, you go through the demo and you're like, you do like the generic, you fight through like the enemies, they're fine. It's like not bad gameplay, but it doesn't sing. You do some of the platforming, which does feel good once you get into its rhythm. But then when you hit a boss fight and you are doing a lot of like the parrying, the dodging, the bullet hell, like maneuvering around the giant purple orbs and like whatnot, then the game is fun as hell. Like I think that I was playing these in Discord call and my friend was like watching me. He's like, if we should this game should just be boss fighter. Like it should be more like Fury, right? If my brain remembers
Fury?
Furi,
Oh, yes.
where it's like,
Furi.
yeah, where it's just like the boss fight, the game, like
Mhm.
one of those early ones for that. Um, he was like, I could see myself playing it, and I still enjoyed my time playing like through the other stuff. It was just once we got to the boss fight,
Hell yeah.
I was like, woohoo! I was like, we're feeling. I was getting like, the stress and anxious of like anxiety of like doing the parries correctly, getting the right timing, getting the right dodges, getting my attacks in. It feels really good. So,
Well, it sounds like we talked about it recently where there are games where like they design their game around the boss fights and then fill out the levels afterwards, kind of.
it definitely touches like it's like yeah, it feels like
Yeah,
that.
sounds cool as heck.
Mm-hmm.
And I do
No,
like the way it looks.
mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, and the demo is like not that long. It's like under an hour. It does have the one of the more neat like is when you do when you break somebody's stance. You can see it briefly in the trailer, but you have to like quickly like move your like your left stick to make a shape, and that you'll do like an ultimate attack, which felt just new. It felt neat.
This cat is back
Mm-hmm.
and sprawled out again. I can't reach the keyboard anymore. And she had her back turned to me, facing towards the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And she just flipped around and just kicked my hand off the mouse.
They're like, no moving on from that page.
She, I cannot use the mouse currently. Thanks, Ashley. Oh, I touched her. Next game?
Yeah, Kingdom of the Night.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's what I
Where
was
were you
saying.
Where were you gonna go?
Skate story.
Oh, this state's already last
Kingdom
because
of the Night.
I
Kingdom
have
of Night.
this state's where I have like I think the most to say about.
Okay.
Um,
Well, Kingdom of
King,
Night.
King, Kingdom of the Night. Kingdom of Night.
Of Night.
We're gonna keep saying it. Kingdom of Night.
Kingdom
I've been looking
of Night.
forward to this game for so long since I first saw it in some sort of indie game montage press conference thingamabob, and it is a isometric RPG that has some beautiful goddamn art to it. Um, its combat is like at times it reminds. I don't know why my brain keeps thinking of the game Crawl. Um, when I'm playing
Crawl?
it, yeah,
Really?
not it doesn't have any of like
Oh,
the taking over a thing or anything like that mechanics, but like just like the kind of like the slowness of the or the commit not the slowness is the wrong term, the commitment of your attack, the commitment of your dodge, the commitment of your like your movement is really feels really good once you
yeah,
start to get a hang of like
you said it,
knowing. Yeah.
and I was like, I had my reaction, but immediately looked at the screen again, and I was like, oh, wait, it does kind of move like that, huh? Interesting.
uh and you know the stories so far is like you're in the 80s, god darn, you're in Miami, Arizona, and you know you're in high school, you get to name 4 characters when you load up the game, um which I assume are going to be your party. I don't know, demo doesn't get that far, and you do get to meet them though, and one of your characters gets taken away, and then boom, you're right in it. Monsters start appearing, but because everyone is a high schooler and they're at a drunk college party or high school party, no one knows um who no one believes you. They're like monsters, and so then bad things just keep happening, and then you fight the monsters. Um, there's RPG mechanics. In the demo, you got to choose between you want to be melee focused or magic focused. And then once you picked whichever one you decided on, you got 3 different archetypes that you get to choose from: knight, barbarian, and rogue for the melee. And then I didn't play as a magic character, so I don't know. But I got to play I played the magic tutorial, so I got to see a little bit of how the magic system works. But when you're playing as a melee character, as I said, it's very like you are committing to your actions. You have to be in a stance to put your weapon up, right? You can either move at your normal speed or get your bat out, like whatever weapon you have. And then your dodge takes a cut just enough of a time that it's not miserable to hit the dodge button. And your attack definitely have like a little bit of a wind up because you're just a normal fucking dude.
This trailer, this is the second trailer. It's an old one. It says coming 2021.
Yeah, definitely didn't hit that.
Did not hit that. Another 4 years.
Yeah. And then that's the story about these last 2 games actually. And then the magic system plays similarly enough to like Magicka, where your 4 face buttons all coincide with an element, and you have to pick. All your spells are 3 combinations of said element. You can use earth 3 times, you can use earth twice, and water once, that kind of thing. So that's like the more heady, more like I guess like mentally taxing thing to play, to know what spells you need to hit and what buttons you need to hit to get much spells, but it could be more rewarding. There are like RPG mechanics. You hit level up, you have 3 stats that you level up. You have equipment which alters those stats. You have health pickups, you have quests. I had a lot of fun. I played this, and my friend who was watching was like, "Hey, like they're like, I kind of wish you could just keep going." Like he's like, "I would love to see more about how this game develops."
That's good. I do remember seeing this game before because this enemy that I have on the stream right now, I remember seeing that and thinking, "Hey, that looks like the guy from Ghostbusters too."
Yeah. I mean, like, it definitely is wearing its like 80s theme on its shoulders, and there are characters that definitely seem 80s like. you have like a kind of an open world. Like if you a little farther in it, you can see the big overview map. There are definitely things that are gated until you unlock said item, but I even in the demo I could go back and forth between the areas I was in um pretty pretty much of my own free will as long as like I had like the Metroidvania like the unlock for it.
Mhm.
Um Yeah, I had a blast. I there's certain things I didn't get to deal with, like any of the economy, any of the item buying stuff. I never got to deal with any of that. You might be able to do that in the demo. I just never. I there were two directions that I could have went, and I think I went the direction that was like I was supposed to go to later. Like I fought a boss that was like 10 levels above me, and I'm like, I don't think I should be fighting you, but because my brain, I try it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna brute force this because I'm here. I'd rather suffer fighting you than go a different direction and then come back. And the game worked. It let me do that. Big fan so far.
Cool. And that is called Kingdom of Night.
Kingdom of Night.
Kingdom of Night. Uh, and then your last game you've got for us here, Skate Story.
Skate Story.
This is one that I do know of already.
As you should, because you
Yeah.
were right next to me when I played it for the first time, like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I also remember the reveal.
Mm-hmm. It might be 6 or 5 years ago. Because I can't remember if we played this at the last PAX before COVID, the COVID PAX, or if we played it the year before. Either way, I played this at PAX, and I remember being like, "Wow, this game visually blows me away." And let me tell you, if I was the type of person who liked getting high alone, I would put this game on and I would put my earphones in and I would evaporate. This game oozes style. The soundtrack is kicking. It's just like, and it goes between like different like more upbeat, more engaging. Like, hey, you need to be paying attention, and you're in a dire situation. To like the more like um chill out, like almost not lo-fi exactly, but it has like that kind of ambientness to it. That's like is such a good vibe. Um, the story is like very like a little nonsensical, but in a good way. You're like, I want to eat that moon, and so then but you're like, I can't reach the moon on foot. You're like, I need a skateboard,
Of course.
and then people are like, you can't skateboard in hell. And then, but get to the actual gameplay, the actual skating is that so you have your kind of tunnel levels, and then you have your more open, um, like skate park levels, I would say.
Mhm.
With your tunnel levels, a lot of what you're doing is like jumping at the right time, moving left and right, and trying to either go too fast, so you're going to go veer off the course in the wrong direction, or too slow, that kind of stuff. And that's a lot more of the vibey things. Like you have your little hoops, like you have to skate through, but like that's still like it's like you're just skating and you're vibing to the track, and it feels good. You just like hold X to push, and then you learn how to ollie, and then you unlock like the kick flip
Kick
and the heel
push.
flip and the kick push lupe. You unlock like, and you slowly unlock more skate moves. And you can start combine what I learned like deeper into the demo without the game telling me, which I thought was neat, was that if you combined certain skate moves and the angles, were like, okay, so in order to do a kickflip, you hold down R2 and hit square. And when you're doing that, or hold down square, when you're doing that, a little symbol appears that has a different shape for each move, and it has like the perfect timing, like little green like section for like this is how you perfect timing the move, but you can still do the move without perfect timing. It just won't be as clean. You won't get as many points. But you start doing that, and then start doing other inputs. You can start doing like 180s and three and inverted or front slides and stuff like that. It feels really good once you start to like get in the flow state, and it's just like I've never been a big like skate proper person.
Sure.
I was always like I would prefer the zaniness of Tony Hawk and the sim. This leans closer to the sim part, just with being aesthetically brilliant. It was just like I wanted to hang out in this world.
I can't believe that this game is part of Steam Nextfest in 2025 because
Yeah.
I swear, for how long ago, like, you played this game, and I remember being it announced, could have swore it was already out. I could have
Mm-hmm.
swore this game already, like, it came and went,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't hear anything about it. But no, it's out in 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. And yeah, it was always uh very visually, like, unique and appealing. Like the skateboarding demon made of glass
Mm-hmm.
is yeah, I don't know, that specifically I remember from, like, yeah, what, like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever. Um and yeah, Dinnermancer in chat, you've already responded. But Dinnermancer says, I definitely got the most value out of Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era.
Mm-hmm.
Olden Era. Um I played it 20 hours and there's still more to do. Um, I watched Dinnermancer play a little bit of that
Mm-hmm.
game.
I
Dinnermancer
got the
actually
last
introduced
15
me
minutes.
to the Heroes of Might and Magic. I always knew what it was.
That's a little
As,
crazy to me because you're a Day 9 fan.
I always knew what the property of the IP. I always knew about Might and Magic, but I'd never seen like the gameplay for Heroes of Might and Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I was like, wow, this looks old. Um, but like mechanically and like all the systems just seems like so deep. And yeah, I watched Dinnermancer play the new game, Olden Era. Um, and man, what a visual upgrade. That game looks really
Mm-hmm.
clean, really nice. There's some good looking screens in that, like when you like go into a town specifically. Um I think they did a good job. And yeah, to be able to play a demo for 20 hours and
It's a
still
huge
have more, that's crazy. And then when the full game unlocks, it's just going to be like exponentially more
mm-hmm.
potential gameplay because you'll have other factions and whatnot. My nose. Sorry, everyone.
No, no. Um, yeah. And like I know that like I'm gonna get off um sometime this week. I'm gonna block out part of my time to really sink my um teeth into Olden Era. I played a decent amount of Here's My Magic 2 um because I watched Day 9 play it and with this game looks like it rules. And it's in fact the reason why I downloaded GOG back in the
Oh,
day was to get Heroes of Might and Magic for whatever reason. I just remember doing it on GOG. Um, I'm super excited to sink my teeth into that. That game, it looked beautiful. I caught the last 15 minutes of Dinnermancer's stream. Literally, just like I saw the tail end of his run. Um, and it looks like kind of everything I would want from another Heroes of Might and Magic.
yeah.
Um,
I think just again the amount of systems at play in this, um, firstly, is remarkable and
mhm,
creates a lot of uh time that you can sink into it. Um, but the like for me specifically, for someone like me who has
mhm,
seen Might and Magic, but like I had no plans to ever play any of those old Might and Magic games because they were old and they looked old and they looked confusing with all of the systems and whatnot. Um, the upgraded like graphics and UI and
mhm.
like clarity from this uh is much needed for those games from what I can see. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, video games. Looks
Um,
good. Want to play it.
I haven't had time for Next
Mhm.
Fest. It's, only on day 2. But I've got quite a list of games that I would like to try. Um, and as reference, this was a list I put together before Next Fest even
Mhm.
started. There was one game that I had to take off the list because it ended up not getting a demo. And then there's also one game on the list that uh doesn't have a demo, but it does have like an early play test. um but this first game is a game that I saw at a showcase years ago. I tried to get into playtests for it. Never could, never did.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm happy now to see just a demo to play. But this is Tears of Metal. Um, it's like, you ever heard of Dynasty Warriors?
Me? No, never.
I didn't think so.
It never shaped a core part of my personality.
Yeah, so this is kind of like taking that type of game
Mhm.
um and injecting a roguelike experience into it. Um and I think this type of game works pretty well as a roguelike. Um
Banging soundtrack.
yeah, Tears of Metal.
Mhm.
Um
Metal bagpipes. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
hell
time of
yeah.
year.
Stream can't hear it, but go look it up because it would just drown us out. Um but yeah, a big part of these games is the gameplay and the fights and the many enemies on screen and how you kill them and how many you kill all at once. And so just looping through those battles and coming back through with different abilities and stats and whatnot.
Mhm.
It just seems more fitting. It's if I'm gonna play one of those, what is it,
Mhm.
Musou?
Yep.
If I'm gonna
Got it.
play a Musou game, this feels more up my alley than like a
Mhm.
traditional one. And the setting's cool.
Yeah.
The visuals are interesting.
Often.
Have you seen this before?
No, I have never. It's immediately added to my. Actually, you know what? Let me open my Steam. Let me make sure I'm not a liar. It's not on my Steam list. But I'm immediately going to add it to my wish list if it's not on it.
But yeah, this was one game that I thought seemed up your alley.
Mhm. And then you had another one. I saw. I just looked ahead. I think probably Tears of Metal on my wish list.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I'm a fucking liar.
But yeah, so this game, Scottish, Scottish Dynasty Warriors roguelike.
Mhm.
It does look like it. Oh no, the demo is already out. Hold on, let me go to the full game. The full game available, it says, is 2025. The demo has come out this month. Yeah, this game looks cool. Sounds neat. We'll play. Next game, I think this is the one that you're saying is for you. Cinecross.
Yeah.
Yeah. You love your Picross,
I do love my Picross.
and this is hold on, how do they describe this? This is roguelike Picross set in a dark fantasy world. Choose your path, you know, slay the spire
Mhm.
like. Um and adapt your strategy using artifacts and items with unique effects. Each room is a new puzzle, each boss a challenge to overcome. I could be crazy. I'm not the Picross connoisseur like you are. I don't remember seeing a Picross game that it never occurred. Okay, Steam. Sure looks like the video's still playing in the background. Yeah, I'd never seen like a Picross game like this with more to it than just solve the puzzle with any sort of
I can't think of like one in my immediate head. I know there's some like there's like a puzzle visual novel type game that has a lot of different like puzzle type games mixed into it. But nothing as like involved as like completely like kind of not altering but like playing with the format of one particular. Like this seems like they're taking Picross and they are having their goddamn fun messing with it.
Yeah, like this game, it has HP and then something going on with the amount of time you're taking. You have different, like I said, like artifacts that will give you different abilities and whatnot. It has classes. You play as a soldier class. Yeah, I don't know. I think Picross itself is typically like relaxing, right? It's light.
That's my like calm down game at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's like a light puzzle that creates a little picture. And this game said, what if instead we tried to kill you while you play Picross?
Yeah.
Which I thought, hell yeah. And I thought it was up your alley because it's one of these Picross games.
You're so right.
You're into. You can get off your Hatsune Miku Picross, and
I'm so close to 100%ing that game, so I won't get off. I'll beat it, and then I'll go.
So yeah, I don't know. This is a neat one. I can see this as a mobile game that could get a lot of play, or I don't know if it comes to mobile or not, but like a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally or whatever you have, I could see this working there. Next, Habro Mania. They say it. You can kind of see it immediately, I think, in the screenshots. It is inspired by Alice in Wonderland.
It's interesting that it says it's inspired by it instead of just doing it, because it is fair use. So like you could
just do it. But it does also say that you're in Wonderland.
Yeah. So
and that you're playing as a girl named Alice.
So like I don't really know why we have to have the inspired.
No, it's just it is Alice, and you are Alice, and you are in Wonderland, but it is inspired by Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, it's a little like, they also compare it to oh my god, what's the American McGee one?
Alice, yeah,
American McGee's Alice Madness, whatever.
Madness Returns, yeah.
They compare it to that just strictly because of like the darker tones and insanity. And that's mainly why I put it on here, because I was like, hey, I know somebody who loves Alice in Wonderland.
It does look good. Add to my wish list.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Very positive reviews on the demo, or the full game, I should say. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's one.
No, you're right. You're right. One of the things I do find like this, like my little pet peeve, is that this game says it's an RPG, but throughout the trailer, it just looks like a point and click adventure.
Yeah,
it's made, and that's just me going back to how you can say anything is an RPG ever, and I will have to grudgingly accept it, but not be enthralled by it.
Yeah, No, I agree. It says it right away. I don't even know when I was reading this if I read the RPG part. If I did, I was
Mm.
apprehensive about it because I know that it's like not an RPG. We're all playing roles, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Always
Um,
play, and we're all playing roles.
but yeah, I don't know. It just looks kind of neat, kind of quick, little spooky point and click.
Hmm.
Um, it came up to me because um of like my interest in what's it called, Buy Sweet Carol.
Hmm.
And it not the same type of game. Buy Sweet Carol looks like it's doing something a little different.
Hmm.
But just the vibes are the same. This is another one that I want to check out. Next up, Constance.
Hey, I talked about this forever ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know about Constance, um, have you have you ever wished that you could play like a hand drawn like Metroidvania type game? Because this is that. Uh, this is
it,
you know, I don't even
it's a
want to
Hollow
call
Knight.
it.
It's a Hollow Knight like.
I don't even want to call it a hollow like.
Hmm.
Um, but like yeah, there are definitely screens where you look at it and you're like, wow, it's very Hollow Knight.
It's a
Um,
bonfire Metroidvania.
yeah, I don't know. There's a little bit of Celeste in this too,
Hmm.
I think.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, this game, I think, from what I've seen, at least like because I haven't been able to play it,
Hmm.
um, more focused on like movement and movement puzzles than
Hmm.
just strictly combat. Hollow Knight has like fairly simple, just like platforming. Or I guess fairly straightforward platforming. You can jump and you can hit,
Hmm.
right? This does a little bit more, just like with your movement and your puzzles and
Yeah,
whatnot. But
yeah. I played the older demo of this. I haven't played the new one. If this is a new one, and I enjoyed my time with it.
it looks
Um,
very pretty. It's very smooth.
mhm. I think it's. I mean, again, from the demo I played, it wasn't as like challenging as like Silksong. But
Hmm.
that being said, Silksong is specifically like hard mode Hollow Knight. So
Yeah,
um, I don't know. Probably shouldn't be that hard.
yeah. I
Uh,
think this would be a good game for maybe somebody who either hasn't gotten into Hollow Knight but wants
mhm.
to. Uh, because yeah, like you said, Silksong's end game Hollow Knight. Silk Song is hard. Starts off hard.
Mhm.
Um, I think this is a game that could kind of like maybe ease you into something like that.
Mhm.
Um, or if you got into Silk Song and Hollow Knight, here's something that you can play that will remind you of how good Silk Song is. Um, yeah, I don't know. Of all the like hand drawn Hollow likes, this is one that I thought looked like visually just like the cleanest and smoothest and
Mhm.
like most legible. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
everything.
this one
Like
looks.
I really agree with you because it's just beautiful to play. Like, well,
Mhm.
that's what I got out of the demo. Was like it just is so pretty to look
Yeah,
at.
yeah. I keep saying it. There's something about just like how clean it looks that like
Mhm.
really gets me. And uh, I like that a lot because she uses the paintbrush.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just like using a paintbrush and having art in the game look amazing is
Yeah, you had to be sure that your art was going to be amazing if you were using a paintbrush.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to be confident in how your game looks if your weapon's a paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, Epic Mickey.
Mm-hmm. Next up,
Crop Day.
Yap Yap.
You're skipping. Yap yap. Yeah, you're skipping Crop Day. You crazy person.
I skipped. Yeah, because it's a little different. So Yap Yap is next. I think there is another game already similar to this. This is like, I guess you would, some people would consider this like the was it Friend Slop co-op game. You and your friends get together, you goof around. You do have an objective, which is like what is using assortment of spells to vandalize, break, and steal. I think your point of the game is to like break in and just like cause as much chaos as you can.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it looks
and
like getting points for just shattering stuff. So it's like less like anxiety. There's a little bit less anxiety, it seems, than like repo where you have to make sure everything is like perfectly like safe as much as possible. Where this looks way hectic, more hectic.
yeah, this looks like it takes like repo's like stealth, and trades it for just like constant chaos. You wanna mess shit up, but you will also like face consequences for messing shit up. Like you will have to fight things. You will draw attention to yourself by stuff. But the main gimmick for this is the spells that you are casting, you are saying.
Oh,
So you're not just
you're
like
yapping.
you're actually
It all
yapping.
comes
Yeah.
together. It all
So
comes
like, we're not listening to this with sound, but like, if you want to like grab an item and like pull it with your wand and your spell, you have to say that spell out loud. So like everyone's just running around like saying Grabiosa.
Yeah.
You know,
An audio nightmare, I'm sure, eventually.
and again, adding just to the chaos where there's like a bunch of stuff happening. You're just destroying stuff. You're being chased, and everybody's just screaming spells, which sounds funny. It sounds hilarious. I don't know. It like this is a game that like I can download the demo, and I have family visiting soon, and I could see if we have enough like uh pieces of hardware for people to play. I could see a couple of us like hopping on this and like goofing around all night and having a lot of fun, just like yelling and laughing. And it's another one of those, it's friend slop. So the mechanics are sloppy and made to just like mess with people. So I like they showed it in the video where like they're just like grabbing stuff with their spells and throwing it at their friends. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a game that you can have really fun with if you right amount of friends, the right amount of time.
Yeah, this one's actually up to 6 players too. A lot of the other like games in this genre are 4, and you need mods to get more. But right out the gate, this one allows up to 6 people. Not that I know 6 people in real life, but
that's not true. But okay,
I don't know, maybe. So yeah, that's yep. And now another. This one I have played. Or well, I guess I don't know if I've played this demo, but I have played Bubsy 4D.
PAX West.
I played it at PAX West. You can now play Bubsy 4D as part of Steam Nextfest. I don't know what's different. I do know they patched the demo since releasing it yesterday.
Mhm.
Dinnermancer plays it. It's very fun. Yeah, my like time with it at PAX, I thought the movement and the platforming seemed fine, felt good. The worlds themselves, I just like
Mhm.
didn't care too much how they looked and uh how things were placed in them. But the actual like platforming seems fun. Um you have a lot of
Like
options,
movement tech, right? Yeah.
a lot of movement tech, a lot of options to move and to jump and to get from point A to point B. Uh which I think creates an experience that's it's not hard
Mhm.
because you have so many ways to do it, but it's fun because you have so many ways to do it and it feels fun to figure out your way to get from point A to point B. Um but that's just from the beginning of the game. I'm sure, Bubsy games notoriously are unfair and hard in points of it. So I'm sure there's points of this game where it gets really hard and you die a lot. Um, but this dev is good at movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I got about that's what I got with my time with this demo. So I recommend it. Um
It's on my list. It's ever growing list.
mhm, mhm. I do think I think I said this after I played at PAX West.
Mhm.
One of the things that the demo for this did for me, and I hope it does for other people, is if you end up liking this, check out the developer's next full release
Yeah.
of Demon Tides.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Because Demon Tides is very similar with its like movement slop,
Mhm.
and it has a demo. Um, but
We
this is like
everything.
their full game that they've been like working on for a while.
Yeah, I know like Demon Tough a good amount too. Which
Yeah,
if we go back
Demon
their older one for
Demon
Demon.
Trip is their older one. That's like it's still a 3D world, but it's like 2D
Mhm.
sprites. This they've gone full 3D. But you can see if you've played, like if Dinnermans are still here, you've played Bubsy 4D. If you see in this trailer like a lot of the movement
Mhm.
is gonna look like similar. Um, but just with like more animation and transformations and whatnot. Uh but yeah, it's a weird thing to think like I hope I hope Bubsy does well so Demon Tides gets more attention.
Mhm.
Uh
Yeah, or vice versa also too.
or vice versa.
Bubsy was
Yeah,
a big name.
if Demon Tides gets a bunch of good hype, maybe Bubsy 4D gets a little bit more.
Mhm.
Um I actually didn't know that this was a demo until now when I just checked, but I'm glad I did. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Demon also.
play both of them. Play both demos.
Whoa.
Uh,
Gonna talk about demos next week.
yeah, I want to play some of these demos today or
Mhm.
this week and this next week. This is another one that I want to try to play when family visits. It's called Crash Out Crew. Um,
How long ago do you think they settled on the name?
it's tough. I bet it was a while ago
Uh-huh.
because because this is part of the same developer game jam that we
Mhm.
got Peak.
Mhm.
So, you know, Peak was a term that the kids were using, and so is Crash Out. So I imagine their game jam was all just like they took like Gen Z slang
Mhm.
and made a game out of it. And what did they make? Um, yeah, Peak was the first game in the game jam, and it was a game with some people from Aggro Crab, some people from Landfall. This also part of the game jam, but only Aggro Crab.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah,
4 players.
watch this little trailer.
4 players. You work in a warehouse. You're operating forklifts. And you're basically just like, you're working in a warehouse. I work in a warehouse. And you're just putting stuff where it needs to, like what truck it needs to go on before it leaves. But then obviously this is going to add extra chaos with what type of cargo, with the layout of the warehouses. There's a crash out mechanic, which has to do with your stress level. Doing stuff in the game will increase your stress. And if you get too stressed, you crash out and you can't control yourself, and your character just kind of drives around like wild.
Just like a super chaotic moving out and or overcooked.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
With a bigger area, I guess.
If you've played an overcooked, moving out, there's various in that same kind of genre. It's going to feel similar to like how those work, where you go level to level with your friends. Here's the new layout. Here's the new type of product that you have. Here are its special rules. I think it even mentions in here, or it does in the trailer or some video I saw, you can add extra modifiers. Where is it? Safety violations. That's what they call it. You can add extra safety violations to increase the difficulty.
Just be like, check it out, everyone. OSHA.
Yeah.
This is what the world will be like without OSHA.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. After coming off Peak, Aggro Crab was already a company that was like doing cool stuff.
Yeah, I remember forever ago I played Going Under on stream.
Yes, you did. And Going Under 2 not happening is why we got Crash Out Crew and Peak. Because they couldn't find the funding for it. They actually, it was something like they had a publisher and like got funding to make Going Under 2, and then that person backed out, so they could no longer make Going Under 2. And then did this game jam, and now we get these games. And for anyone concerned, this does not mean there is any less development going into Peak. There's still the same amount of time and effort going into Peak as there was before. So nobody has to worry about like missing out on new content for Peak because Crash Out Crew is out now. I don't think this takes off like Peak, which is probably why Peak came out first. Although even Peak was a surprise to them too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like they want to diversify a little bit. Like this is a different experience. It feels a little bit more shorter of an experience. Like you might be able to go in and play a level. So, you give people different options. You want the quick, fast game, or you want the little bit more time-consuming game? Because a run of Peak can last a decent amount of time.
Yeah, one of the the badges that you get in Peak is for finishing the game in under an hour. So, like typically in my experience, it's like an hour and a half.
Um, I added it to the docket. I also just put it back if you want to look at like the docket. I forgot that it was having a Next Fest demo, but you should
Oh
open up
yeah.
Stop Girly Pop.
Let's look at Don't Stop Girly Pop.
This is one I wish that we had the sound working correctly today, so we could make everyone listen to it.
We can. It's just we won't also be talk. It'll be over us. We can talk, but I can't adjust its volume as well as like I would. So here, let's listen.
Are no longer an individual of flesh and blood. You are Ember, and you will be their downfall.
Girly Pop.
We are the revolution.
Rhinestone, you're done.
With the fairies on the side, we'll send you to your grave. And with your evil gone, the planet will
Remember, Ember, just don't stop moving, and we might make it out of here. The faster you go, the more damage you deal, and the more you heal.
You get the gist.
Yeah.
I
Inside
can't.
of me, there are 32 wolves that each like every genre of video game possible, but like a subgenre of it. And the Unreal Tournament like movement arena shooter type thing was like is completely my fucking shit, and this like very queer, very hyper pop and breakcore driven pink overload. You got to keep moving or you'll die aesthetic. It fucking rules.
Yeah, the visual representation is a lot. It's a lot to look at. It's very pink. It's very
Y2K.
very Y2K, very fast, very hectic. If you take away the way the game looks, if it was just blocks, right? If it was just blocked out, no colors, the gameplay of this game does not scream girly pop at all. I do not think Quake is girly pop.
This is why I when I was talking to people about this in real life, I just kept being like, come on guys, you gotta try it out. It's trans Quake. It's like it was like
trans Quake.
Yeah, and I was like, it's perfect. This is all I've ever needed out of a video game. I now seeing there's a demo, and I'm 100% gonna fucking jump on this. And I'm gonna try it out. The only thing I'm not sure, it doesn't look inherently like it has any multiplayer, which can be fine. I don't necessarily need the multiplayer, but I know a lot of people in the like in that era like the arena-based shooter multiplayer. So
it strictly says single player.
Yeah, and that's okay.
I think that's okay. I don't
think my God,
this needs multiplayer.
I didn't see this review, but the guy from New Blood Interactive who does like a medieval Dusk, a lot of the new age boomer shooters, and he made Ultra Kill. His review is Ultra Kill for the gays. Again, I love that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, this is I love to see a game that presents itself like this. Very, very funny, very good. Transquake. Let's see. All right, so my last game that I brought about before even looking at what's a Next Fest, I assume next week I will have more new games to talk about from Next Fest. This game I have last because it's not like technically in Next Fest because there's no demo, but you can get into the play test. And it is like I just said, a farming, deck building roguelike. You're building your deck with different crops and abilities and whatnot, to build your farm, basically. And each, you know, you're going through different levels, curated levels, basically, where it's like, here's the level with the river that looks like this, and here's how this soil is, and whatnot. From my understanding, at least. So you'll play through a bunch of levels that are not procedural generated, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you'll continuously come across them with different decks. You've got the Slay the Spire track here. I'm going to request access live on stream so we can see how easy it might be to get into this. I have to sign in.
Yeah, you're on the web browser. One of my favorite things about this game, just conceptually, is how cute all the scarecrows are.
Yeah, so there's like different scarecrows that you can place down. Like if I guess the closest comparison is like the Jokers in Balatro, but it's not just like multipliers. They actually have like, hey, I don't know. I'll say they're kind of like your Jokers from Balatro. All right, now let's say join playtest. Bam. Welcome to the playtest.
You did it.
Okay. And I can invite friends. So if for whatever reason, I guess you can't get in, I can invite you. But yeah, I don't know. I really like this idea of, I like card games. I like the roguelike deck building aspects of card games. And I like that you're like taking away the farming and everything. I like that it's a card game that interacts with a grid-based map. That hits different, strategic elements to me. And then I think just like the farming theme around it is cute.
Yeah, I think like again, like this could be like, I this is one of the ones that I'm excited for you to play it. I want you to come back and tell me more about it, because like I want to know how like rewarding a lot of the strategy is and how like in control you feel, which is like a lot of my roguelike questions are like, do you feel like you had a way out at any given moment, or do you feel like you were like kind of trapped in with like the cards you were dealt?
Yeah, some of the stuff that I want to kind of see and figure out, because this is one that I absolutely plan on playing before next week. One of the things that I was thinking is like, and this just goes with, I guess, roguelikes like this, but just coming across certain level layouts that just become like impossible with your deck or your build. Like, just layouts that you just like can't handle. Hold on.
Okay. I'm holding. I'm on.
I was just closing this door, getting rid of this stink bug.
Door's closed.
But yeah, this, and actually, I didn't have it on the list, but Turnbound, which I've talked about on here after one of the shows, also has a demo. This is the one where you can play as Dong and Alice.
Oh yes.
And it has a sort of like Resident Evil inventory management meets the Bazaar that I want to try. Yeah, so those are two games that I definitely plan to report back with. because they're just my kind of games. I think at this, this stage in life and with my time, it's easy to just like pick up and put down something like this, like over and over again.
You want to expand just from just the bizarre into things that are like the bizarre.
Yeah.
You want your bizarre life.
My bizarre like. It's just, Turnbound is different from Crop Deck, which by the way, good name, Crop Deck.
Crop Deck.
Crop Deck is just a single player deck building roguelike, where this is that like asynchronous multiplayer. So both of them have this element of like, I don't have to sit down and finish.
You're not trapped in a game of like Hearthstone, like if you're playing Arena or whatever.
Right. Or like TFT or whatever, where like I'm not trapped in it for like 45 minutes. I can stop, go back, and whatnot. Yeah, that's it. If I look, let's take a look real quick, since we're here already, at the Nextfest page. Let's just see after a day what like the top demos are and whatnot. On your wish list, I like seeing this. Tears of Metal, Smash It Wild.
I have so many.
Mad Tea Party in chat asks if I want a burger. Yes. Yes, I want a burger.
It's rising hot.
When don't I? So yeah, Tears of Metal, Smash It Wild. Smash It Wild, I briefly talked about. It's the tactics volleyball game.
Yes.
I have Dead Weight on here. This is another tactics looking game. This has a demo.
You're so brave in showing what your Steam recommends you.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't care about.
I don't know if I would be able to.
I think I can. I don't think I'll get in trouble. Let's see. We got Critter Drifters. That's a combat racing game. Heck yeah. Splatoon games. Hold on. Where is? This is just that meme. Okay, charts. Here we go. Found it. All right. I guess I'm going to go to top demos. Top demos right now. Half Sword. It's been the top demo for like months. Number 2. This is exciting. Heroes of Might and Magic. Olden Era.
Shout out to dinner.
Everwind. Final Sentence. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, no, I was watching our boy Snowbike Mike play this on stream last night.
Hilarious. Yeah, Final Sentence is a
battle royale typing game.
Yeah. House of the Dead, but
next to your head.
Or no, not House of the Dead. Typing of the Dead, but a battle royale. Very funny.
And if you mess up 3 times, he spins the trigger and shoots, and you might die from the Russian roulette. You might not. You get to keep going.
Great. Reanimal.
That's
which
the Little Nightmares devs.
Yep. Which is interesting because I think Little Nightmares also is in Steam Nextfest and just came out. We get Yap Yap, The Cube, Save Us, Midnight Walkers, Servant of the Lake, Puzzle Point Click, Long Drive North, Star Trek Voyager, Misery, Systemic War. There's Crash Out Crew. Let's go.
Oh yeah, the remaster remake of Painkiller or whatever the new thing is.
Yeah. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is in here. Skate Story, Tears of Metal, all next to each other.
Cosmic Invasion needs a release date.
It doesn't have one?
Game. This is this year. Its release date is this year, and let me tell you, there is a month and a half left for it to come out.
1 month and a half.
Shadow drop at Game Awards, but
I like that we have a demo for Ultimate Sheep Raccoon because I love Ultimate Chicken Horse. Yeah, there's Bubsy.
I've hit at least one point where I would have been like, I would have had to like quickly move the screen at least.
There was only one that I thought maybe it's this one, but I think it's okay from what I can see. Union Syndrome, Rhythm Psychosis.
Yeah, I definitely have a worse one than
that. Yeah. So I just want to go through that real quick so I can kind of compare how that looks in a couple days. And that's it. We only have 5 topics today.
Yeah.
Because we started late, and I thought we had a lot to talk about with what we already had. And also mainly because when we were making this docket, I was slow to get to it. And you talked about what you had added. And I said, oh, yeah, and Steam Nextfest too. And you're like, oh, yeah, and then stole it from me as one of your 3 topics.
I mean, like, in theory, my brain was like, I could have my 3 games and you could have yours, like, or whatever, right? I figured, like, in theory, we could. Nextfest was me having my Nextfest half and your Nextfest half. So it worked out.
Fine.
I'm absolved. Yeah. I say about myself.
So yeah, so that's the show. This week you only get 5 topics. Next week you don't get me.
Yeah, Christopher, we're taking him out to pasture, actually.
Going out to the middle of a lake. No, I'll probably be in chat and watching in some capacity. But I have family visiting, so I won't be around to do something for 3 hours.
But I will be here.
Kay will be here.
Will I be alone or with someone else? I've yet to determine. But
you can do whatever you want.
I will take the show and go into deep, 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 dark places.
Great. We're gonna get banned on YouTube.
Ready for Kay's spicy game review section. No, I'm kidding.
All for it. All for it. We can do that, or you can do that. I can't do that.
But yeah, no. So next week will be interesting. Also, hopefully it will go smoothly. I'll be here. But I guess for now, let me test it. This has been the Park Bench. You have been
Sea Parks,
and I've been Golden Roach K, and I yield my time.
Okay.
Love you all.
Okay, bye. Oh my god, I wasn't ready to end it. Do I hit the right button? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Stick around for the post show. Gamedle. We have to keep ranking breasts, I think.